Hello everybody, and we are live. CNMS Esports Studios for Stage 6, Chase the Yellow on RGT. Welcome along, it's great to have you with me. I'm going to be your host today. I'm Jim from OTR Virtual Events. It's my first time on the mic, so fingers crossed it goes okay. I'm going to try and comment on what I see going on, give you some insight into the race as it goes, and from my experiences challenging this one earlier on myself. It's going to be super fascinating. I think it's going to be a brutal battle up this climb 1.2 today, GC and for the teams. 24 kilometres of racing for you, a total of 1,592 metres of climbing. Here's a quick recap of the stages for Chase the Yellow so far. So stage 1, we were on Mont Saint-Michel. Stage 2, Château-Redon, Sistron. Excuse my French pronunciation, by the way. Stage 3, we were Alpe d'Huez. I remember that one, I can still feel it in my legs. Stage 4, Sistons. Stage 5, we were Elberville to Charles de Haut. And today, as mentioned, we're on Mont Ventoux. Stage 7, next Tuesday, we're off onto Salons. Stage 8, we are up to Mont Vernier, and Stage 9, we finish off heading into Paris from Versailles. The setting for, I think, a great battle on the Tour de France past, which replaced, I believe, the usual Champs-Élysées on that year as an individual time trial. Okay. So a quick recap of what we're going to see today. Mont Ventoux, you can see the Meteo station on the left there for the summit and some of the most picturesque shots on the way in. We're approaching this one from the northwest side. You can climb the Mont Ventoux from three sides, but northwest we are heading in from the town of Malhaut. As I say, climbing nearly 1,600 metres all the way up to the Meteo station at the top. It's going to be fun for you guys watching. Not so much fun for all of us that had to tackle it today, who are still on the GC or just fancy popping in to give this one a go today. Okay, quick recap of the teams. So we've got OTR e-racing teams, my own guys up first. OTR Punchers with myself. The Spartans, our second team, and there are guys on that one. Moon Riders, riding high on the Team GC. ECKD, Team 1. And Team 2. Big contingent. Our friends at West London VR, shout out to Dave and the crew. Glasgow United, also nicely placed on GC. Team 3R, the Race 3R team. Our friends at Razio Racing, shout out guys, how you doing? And then a big Australian contingent kicking off with the Bike Place. The Skippy Anderson team. Cadell Sharks, I believe, leading the Team GC at the moment. Good day, guys. Spaddy's Koalas. Ladies, hello. Stewie's Magpies. Recognising a lot of these names from the team time trial. And Rocket Robbie. And Oppie's Stars to round off the teams, I believe. That's great to see so many teams taking part in this, especially given the time of year. I mean, this is such a draw for everybody. It's fantastic. Okay, so we're on to having a look at the GC standings now. You can see Jonathan Orr is currently leading at 4 hours 42.16. Castor Hederdam is at plus 53. Again, I've got Igor Cops at plus 2 minutes at 8. Bo Duke, he's at 2 minutes 55. Tristan Dimmock, 2:57. Saad Keradine, very, very good climber at 3:40. We could see some big action from him today. And then the gaps are going out a little bit. We've got Lorenzo Simmons, followed by Mark Rowbottom. Kevin Barkley, the top placed OTR. Shout out to you, Kev, you're doing great. Alistair McAlpine from Glasgow United. Ben Kirk, Cadell Sharks. James Melville, another Glasgow rider. Christophe Contan. Hi, Christophe. Big shout out to you, mate. Followed by Noel, and then rounding out the top 15, we've got Steve Cooper, again, another one from Glasgow United at 22 minutes 45. Okay, the women's GC, pretty much dominated, as you can see, from Spratty's Koalas. Kate Coleman leading at 5 hours 59 and 38. Michelle is at 2 minutes 18. Melissa Fanning, 7:36. And then the time gaps are big from here going out. Wendy Wonderwheels. Hi, Wendy. She's at 47 minutes and 4. Judy Frankel, Steve Elliott's other half. Hi, Judy. She's at 1 hour 14. Then we got Linda Van Dyke. And why, it's great to see you, Anne. Stalwart of all of the OTR series. Marlene Legard. Caroline Reiter, normally right up there, but looks like Caroline only joined us for 2 stages this year. It's a shame. And then Nikki W rounding out the top 10. Okay, on to the Team GC. As I said earlier, Cadell Sharks are leading the way at 14 hours 20 and 12. The next team down are Race 3R. They're at 2 minutes 43. And a bit of sizable gap then to Razio Racing, finishing off the podium at 15 minutes. And then we have Glasgow United at 36 minutes, Moon Riders at 53, and then we've got ECKD Team 1. Followed closely by the top OTR team, the Punchers, my lads, on 1 hour and 23. Skippy Anderson's following just behind us. West London Peddlers joint team just after them. The Bike Place next, followed by Stewie's Magpies at 2 hours 58. ECKD Team 2 are following them, and then we have another OTR team, the Spartans, in 13th place. Rocket Robbie in 14th, Spratty's Koalas 15th, and rounding out the Team GC, 16th place is Oppie Stars. It's great to see everybody still in action at this stage. I say it's been such a draw, this race. It's amazing to see so many teams taking place this time of year. Okay, a couple of guys on the Pain Cave cams. I think that might be Gordon, you know. Hello guys, nice of you to join us. Do give us a wave if you're watching at some point during the proceedings. Okay, we've got 3 minutes. 3 minutes left to go, guys. Really looking forward to this. I mean, my legs are still aching from my efforts earlier on. Shout out to my teammate Tony who nursed me all the way up, stuck to our plan, hopefully maintain my place on GC. And he then rushed off ahead of me in the last kilometre, made up 5 places, I think it was. Monumental effort by him. So here we go. Countdown is ticking down. A little bit of info on 1-2 if you want any knowledgeable about this mountain. It's known as the Windy Mountain. 1-2 coming from Vent for wind. It's in Provence in southern France and tops out with the meteo station at 1900 metres, or in old money 6,263 feet. And you'll notice when we get up there, a couple of bends from the end, it's so high, no trees grow up there. You come round one of the last bends before the top, and it's just moonscape, it's just rocks and a couple of lonely little bushes up there. Okay, so I think I said earlier, we're coming in from the village of Malaucène. That's the northwest approach. You can climb this mountain from 3 different approaches. And some people actually do try and do all three in one day. A teammate of mine, Keith Aitchison, did just that a couple of years back. I think he set off at something crazy like 5 in the morning to have enough time to do that. I can't imagine climbing it 3 times once. Once was more than enough. But yeah, kudos to those guys. Okay, 1 minute 50 now to go. Starting to get exciting. And as you can see from the profile, there's a bit of a lead in before we hit the climb proper. So expect a bit of jostling, a bit of a movement for position. The road's quite narrow. You've only got about, I think, five spaces for riders to steer. So you'll see a little bit of jostling, a little bit of trying to get position to get a little bit of a lead out going into the climb proper. Probably quite important, you know, if you take 30 seconds to a minute in, that's quite a few watts that people have got to really put down to try and catch you on the rest of the climb. That said, I mean, the climb itself, you know, for an average rider, the bulk of the climb is going to take you about an hour, maybe an hour 5 to do. So you know, there's plenty of time to catch it up as well. We shall see how it pans out. Okay, the riders will be checking their wattage, making sure the power is coming through to those pedals now. I know if I was DSing for the team, I'd be making sure everybody's checking their power. Don't want anybody left at the start line. Okay, for those of you who haven't seen this coverage before, we have got live as well as time slot 1 replay, which is from the 10 o'clock running this morning when I was involved in. And Damon, our awesome broadcaster from ZMS, will be flicking backwards and forwards between them so we can get a good kind of idea about how things are shaking down on the GC as we go. And indeed, here we go. Tim Cook from 3R blasting off the front there. You can see quite a bit of team tactics coming in from 3R today as they try and protect the lead of Jonathan Orr on GC, and also as they try and claw back a little bit of time on Cadell Sharks on the Team GC as well. Okay, so yeah, look, we've got four 3R riders now following Castro. There's a bit of a kick to start with, and then it'll go into a little drop just after that. So if these guys can take a bit of a lead over that, they'll be in a good lead out position to take a bit of time into the base of that climb. Here we go, over the top, goes down a bit, there's another little kicker, and then it's full bore down. So as you can see, it's pretty neck and neck so far with the guys earlier on today. Looks like Daniel Scooch was leading that one out. You can see Casper headed down there trying to get back onto the group. It's obviously in his best interests to try and stay high on GC by getting up with that front group if he can. Okay, looks like they've slowed a little bit on the live slots, and other riders joining them from behind. Still drawn out a bit in time slot 1. A bit more gapping between the riders. So that's probably an indication the guys on the front are going a little bit hard still, while these guys are a little bit further back, just taking it easy. You know, you've got to make that decision, haven't you, whether you go hard now, take a little bit of time into the ride, into the climb, and maybe pay for it later. Here's a quick rundown of Cadell Sharks. Got Ben Cook, Bo Duke, riding high on GC, Chris Morgan, Luke Webster, Noel Holder and Tristan Dimmock. Those guys will be, no doubt, will be trying to look after Bo Duke's interests on this climb. And as you can see from the gradient profile, it's not like Alpe d'Huez was the other day. It's not red all the way. So there are opportunities on this climb for drafting. I was really thankful earlier to have Tony on the front on those orange and green sections save me 10 to 15 watts, 20 sometimes when we hit the green section. And that's mega important when you're racing guys who are just maybe ahead of you, just behind you, all by themselves. If you can save those watts, maintain those distances, you're going to be fresher at the end. So look out for the teams applying those sort of tactics as we go further into this race. And you can probably see on the profile there's this little section of green and blue. They'll be taking that into the village, going a few left and rights through the village. Lovely bit of scenery as we go through from RGT. And to mention, this is a real road as well, so they've tried to map this as close to life as possible with the buildings as we go through the village at the bottom. See a lovely little village green. If you're eagle-eyed and quick enough, because these guys are now really sort of packing some speed through here, 54 kilometres an hour as we go through. So there's a little bit of kind of false climb just before we kick over, another little green section, then we're on to the climb proper. You can see it's bunching up a little bit on the time slot 1 replay from earlier. I wonder if the Australian guys are going to try a similar tactic to what they did before, which was to basically time trial up, take it in turns, and then try and get an advantage over the later slot. I mean, it's a great idea to do that. I think we've seen before at Tour de Mons and other sort of big stage races. If that earlier slot's got less men, it makes perfect sense to try and team time trial it to limit your losses on the later slots. With particularly got upwards of 80, 90, 100 riders all taking turns. Okay, so we are just starting to head out of the village now. The leaders, I think, 18th, 19th place, 19th and 20th, Steve Elliott from OTR. Hi, Steve. Teammate of mine on the punches. And look at that, almost reading my mind there. So Kevin Barclay's our best placed guy on GC. Tony, as I said there, really went beyond duty today to nurse me up this climb. Andy Widnes, unfortunately, out with a muscle pull after I think it was stage 2. He's a bit of a monster. He managed to pull a thigh muscle. Myself, hello. Sean Lavelle, and as I just said, Steve Elliott there from the USA, rounding out our team. Okay, we're getting a bit of action with some of the guys further down the fields now. It's good to see. Shout out to you guys. It's a long way ahead. Say some of that energy, guys. Pace it. This mountain will definitely rip the legs off you if you don't treat it with respect. You've got to come into this with a plan of watts that you're going to take up this climb, and then stick doggedly to it. It's very, very, very tempting to get into a little fight, a little bit of a challenge with some riders that are a bit stronger than you, and then you will really, really pay further on. Okay, here we go then. Jonathan Orr is kicking it up this climb just before the main one. He's over and he's back on the green now. You can see his speed's starting to pick back up into the 30s, going into the high 30s now. He might top out just below 40, I think. Very strong rider is Jonathan Orr. You can't see from the head-on shot, but in a minute they'll hang a right hand and then he'll be onto the climb proper. Here we go. And we are on to the main climb. Okay, it'll be very, very interesting to see if he can hold these watts all the way up. I think we're looking at 5.3 watts per kilo. So that is some heavy duty hitting out he's doing now. Okay, in the earlier slot we got Casper starting to hit out a little bit harder than that. Looks like he's pushing 6 watts per kilo. You can see by the red underneath his name that he's pushing over his aerobic threshold. He's in the anaerobic now. Be interesting to see how long he can hold that and if he pays for it a bit further on the climb. As you can see from the gradients, it's not, it's not as extreme as the climb the other day. So particularly for these faster guys, if they can keep the speed up, there will be a little bit of draft available to them. Kevin, good to see you, mate. I think Kevin is our best placed rider from OTR on GC at the moment. Up at about 9th, I believe he was. So shout out for you, Kevin. Carry on the good work. Igor Kops. Igor's doing very, very well this tour. Good to see. All the way up there and abouts. The whole way. Currently riding 4th on GC at plus 2 minutes 35. So if Igor can put in a really good effort today, given the length of this climb and the severity of some of the pitches, he could be making up a good time on GC, maybe leapfrog Sard Keradine, who's at 2:07, just 22 seconds ahead of him. So we'll see how that little sub battle plays out. Chris Morgan, I think that is 10th place from Australia. Hello, mate. Mr. Dimmock. Tristan. Yeah, Tristan's doing very well. He is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 on GC at 2 minutes 57. So just looking back at some of the climbing performances from Alpe d'Huez on stage 3. Now on that one, Casper won that. It was 24 seconds ahead of Jonathan. So it'll be interesting to see if Casper can bring that same kind of dominance to this race, because if he can make up those 53 seconds, he'll be going in to the last 3 stages with a really big chance at taking it all the way to the end if he can get a bit of a lead. And if he can take the sort of power that we saw in Alpe d'Huez all the way up this, given that it's another 300 to 400 metres of vertical ascent, that one will be really, really interesting. Really interesting. So who have we got on screen now? Steve Cooper from Glasgow Rangers. Doing well there, Steve. Sorry, Glasgow United, not Glasgow Rangers. Apologies, guys. James Melville, previous winner of Tour de Monde. Hi, James. Alistair McAlpine, Steve Cooper, and someone that I've had a lot of battles with myself, Ian Hepburn. Hi, Ian. I hope you guys all have a very good race today. And Mr. Castro, who was leading it out early, is now dropping back a little bit. He's maybe doing some of the guys a favour, leading them out. We had a bit of a lead out from OTR from Adrian Bennett earlier on today. Thank you for that, Adrian. Yeah, let's have a look at the West London Pedalers joint team from West London VR, run by the very excellent Dave Morrison. Hi, Dave. Christoph Contant. Hi, Christoph. Great guy. Tobias Bjork, I think that is. I like the singer. Felix Castro, Michael Sergey, and Jürgen Janssens. Again, another one of those guys that I had a lot of battles with in races past. Hi, guys. And there he is. Hello, Janssens. Good to see you again, mate. I was in a group with him all the way on the last stage, so yeah, good to see him on the road. James Melville there, previous Tour de Monde winner, going well. Mr. Kolvik, don't think I know you, but are you on ECKD? Let's have a look. You are. Jorgen. Hi, mate. So yeah, Brian Christensen, Jan Hansen, Kjeld Hogg, I'm going to try that. Rani Sakamon and Henrik Larsson. Hi guys. Hopefully my pronunciation of Danish names will get better as my time in my current new job goes, because I'm working with a lot of guys from the Nordics. Gordon, go on, mate. Good to see you, Gordon. Gordon's on the Spartans team. I always have great battles with Gordon when we do our OTR Hare and Hounds competition. We're very, very equally matched on watts, so we generally go off at the same time. And there we go on the Pain Cave cams. Good to see you, Gordon. Yeah, mate, yeah, I feel your pain. I know exactly what you're going through, bruv. I felt exactly the same. I'm not quite sure who that is in orange, but hello. Give you a little wave. Could be. Is that Scott? Scott Francis, I think. Yeah, it is. Hi, Scott. From the earlier time slot. Okay, we'll have a look at the side-by-side. Both sets of riders on that first section. I always find with 1-2 when I'm riding it to try and take away the bit of the mental torture. I kind of break it down into 3 sections. That first section of red plus the kind of little bit of easier riding that comes after it, and the middle section of red, and that final one that comes after the last bit of green at the top. Here we go. Here's the group that we were with earlier. Adrian Bennett just he suffered a little bit of a technical just after this. His intention was to kind of lead us out for a bit longer, but something went wrong. The car actually ghosted, and that was the end of him. We had a fun time with these 2 riders from, I think they're Aussie teams. I can't quite remember off the top of my head. But anyway, we had a bit of a battle all the way up. Really, these guys finally managed to get rid of them, I think, with around 7 or 8k to go. I think they overcooked it a little bit and then stopped it a little bit later on. As we stuck to our plan, paced it pretty much perfectly all the way. Yeah, it was a good battle though. It was something to keep us definitely motivated and a hare to chase up the road for sure. Okay, it looks like they're from the bike place. Hey guys. So yeah, Tim Rice, Dan Baxter, Michael Reekeen, I'm going to say, Sean Henderson, Ryan Wilmot, and David Vaz. Good to see you guys. All looking very happy and smiley there on the photos. I doubt very much you were looking like that on this climb though. I certainly wasn't. Steve, I had a quick look at Pete Austin there, and now we're back with Steve Elliott again, going great guns in 20th position. Rob Leck, I think that is, from the US. Silvestre. France. Silvestre. Andy Williams, I think that is, from Wales. NS or N5 in Germany. Good old John, by the way. Hi John, nice to see you. Give us a wave if you can hear me. Maybe you can't. Yeah, John's a good climber, he'll be enjoying this. One of his favourites, I think. One of those climbs, you love to hate it. I love to do my long training rides on this particular route. Yeah, looking good there, John, in your Wellho kit. Keep it up, mate. Mr. Blanchard from the UK. And Mr. Nuerzeling, I'm going to say. Another one of our Australian riders. Good to see you, mate. Lovely. Mr. Dole, 62nd place from Australia. Keep it up, mate. Try not to go into those red spots too much. It's a long, long way to go yet. Okay, Mr. Williams, I think that's 23rd place in the live stream. 33 riders altogether. That's still pretty darn good. I think that's going to push us to still around 140 riders on a brutal climbing stage like this, in totality across all of the slots. Brilliant. It's great to see such turnout and support in the summer. I think it's taken everybody by surprise, even RGT themselves. It's just credit to the organisers. Damon's done such a great job on this. Such a great concept, and people just are coming back day after day after day for more punishment but more fun. It's awesome to see. Yeah, Damon. Yeah, good man. Here we got T. Jensen on the live, followed by Judy. Yeah, Steve's other half. Hi, Judy. Good to see you. A replay from earlier. MNH pushing up in 76th place. Parquet, is that? Armand and Jay Paul side by side. Mr. Wagstaff, hey, another OTR rider. Oh, lovely, loads of waves. It's great to see this. Probably all waving at each other, actually, to be fair, as well as to the cameraman. Al James, yeah, carving your way through that group. Keep that up. Catching on Wagstaff just ahead of you. Okay, lead riders are over that first ramp and heading into the second part now. A bit flatter, so they'll be looking for each other's wheels at this place. Hello, Rick Saberberg, RGT Australia, good to see you. Hey, Clive, good to see you, mate. Mr. De Jong. H. Larson, is that Holly maybe? Could be, not quite sure. Hello, H. Larson. Mr. N. Harper from Wales, hello, 92nd place, keep that up, sir. C. Norman in 94th. Linda, hello Linda. Another one of our regulars from Australia, one of the ladies in the Koalas team. See her all the time on Love TT. A. East, 97th place. That's it, going well. Tapping out a rhythm, not going too far into the hurt locker. You'll get to the top if you keep that up. Okay, time slot 1 replay. Casper is off the front and 350 metres up the road ahead of Carradine and Copse and Rowbottom, all fellow challengers on GC. So that's a great performance from him. See Carradine there, keeping it in the greens and the yellow, so he's watching his pace, he knows how long this climb is. And Igor as well. And yeah, also Mark. Nobody going kind of above and beyond right now, because they've got still such a long way to go. But they're 400 metres into this climb, so they've still got an Alpe d'Huez yet to go, and they're already 20 minutes into this one. I just couldn't see in the context how big this climb is. They don't call it the Beast of Provence for nothing. It is absolutely huge. Yeah, I hope one day to do it in real life. Proper bucket list item for me. I've got no doubt it'll be even worse in real life once you've got the winds blowing on you as well. Apparently, going up from this side of the mountain is the easier. Well, not the easier of the three. It's the easier of the two comparable climbs. So they're both about the same size and same pitch. But from the other side, it's a lot windier apparently. So if I ever do it in real life, this is the side I'm going to pick. But yeah, I'm sure in real life with that wind blowing in your face, it's going to be a lot tougher. Kev Barkley, 17th? No, 12th. Keep that up, Kev, you're doing really well, mate. And who we got on the live side? Jan Vanna up to 4th place, carving his way through onto the wheel. And Christoph trying to get on the wheel as well, saving a few watts before a couple of small sections of climb, and they're back into the less serious grades. Those orangey yellow sections, you're going to see sort of 3 to kind of 5% going through those. You know, at the watts and speed that these guys are going, you're going to get quite a nice draft. I find myself, anything up to about 6%, we're doing 16 kph. There's draft there. Anything above, below 16 kph, and it disappears. And that's for a kind of mid-pack rider like myself. These guys on the front, they're going a lot faster, so I would imagine that draft's going to be there just a little bit over 6% maybe if they get their speeds up. And maybe able to see a sort of indication of that a bit later. Okay. A nice pace line going again on that time slot 1 replay. And Jonathan Orr now out on his own. Yeah, he may well have an idea of what happened earlier and might be might be well pacing himself. I was expecting to see some of those other 3R guys ahead of him, maybe, laying down the watts and sacrificing their own GC chances. But I don't know, maybe there's just not those team orders there in Team 3R at the moment. Or maybe they've just been given carte blanche to just do their own thing on today's stage. And here they are, race 3R, Jonathan Orr, Jan Vanner, who just saw on screen, Evan Isterson, Stard Carradine, Anders Ostergaard, and Jep Schneever. Schneever. Apologies, Jep. I'm sure there's a better pronunciation for your name than that, mate. So here we go. It's ramping up a little bit again for those two guys. Samut, hello, a regular on the OTR veteran scene. It's great to see you racing. Hope to see you again this season coming, mate. Overy, race 3R. Maybe trying to bridge over to him. Okay, Jonathan. Yeah, pushing out those watts. Very high watts, nearly approaching 400. We saw that earlier. Oh, Igor now. Igor's caught up to Carradine. I wonder if these guys are going to work together and maybe take it in turns on the front, try and bridge over to Casper. I'll have to see how that one pans out. I mean, although they are on different teams, they are both in the top 5 of GC. So it's always a toss-up, isn't it? Do you go on the stage and try and bridge those gaps with a competitor, take it in turns in the hope that you can pull Casper in, or do you just look after your own interests? Try and save something in the legs to try and podium when you get to the top. See how it plays out. There we go. Christoph now in second, trying to pull away a little bit from the 3R guys. Looks like they're not having it though. They're coming back onto turns with him. And in fact, just pushing ahead there a little bit in front of him now. Lower gradients, so they will be looking for a bit of a draft. If I was Christoph with 3 of those guys from a different team, I would just be trying to follow them. Let them do the work, Christoph. Would be my advice. I'm sure you know that though, mate. And no, looks like you've got the legs. You're feeling good, so yeah, go for it. Stretch them out. Doing great. Not letting him out of their sights though. Not letting that elastic stretch too much. Okay, they've got about looks like another kilometre or so. Yes, yep, before they hit that next third of climbing. As I said earlier, I have to mentally break it down myself and avoiding it. Casper is on that second third. And as you can see, now that he's broken the back of the group, you've got nobody following him. He's eased off a little bit on the power. Still pushing very good watts, mid 300s. I wish I could push that sort of power. But you can see from his power bar just under his mane, it's going yellow and orange now, which means he's not in that above aerobic section that he was in earlier when he was red. And this is the sort of output that a well-trained rider should be able to take all the way to the top of this climb. We should expect to see these front guys go over in about an hour 5, an hour 10, I would say. So an FTP effort, that's an hour as hard as you can go. And those are those kind of orangey and yellow colours that we're seeing below these riders. Jonathan now jumping into the yellow from the orange. Yeah, 3R guys, they're keeping a close eye on Christoph there. Now they know he's a quality rider, they're going to be keeping a very, very close eye on him. As I said, if I was Christoph, I'd be looking to follow their wheel. Mark Rowbottom there from Razio. He's doing very, very well for his team. Here they are, the Razio Racing guys. Matt Hammond, Nick Greeno, hi Nick. Shout out to you, mate. Igor Kops, I'm riding high on the GC. Ingmar van Beurs, Mark Rowbottom, and Andras Kajewski, another rider that I've had lots of battle with in the past along with Nick. Hi Andras, how you doing, mate? Hope you enjoyed it today. Okay, a bit of head-to-head action with the leaders. On screen there, John Orr and Casper for a second there. Okay, Keradine, how's he? He's pulled out a 20-metre gap now on Igor. So it'll be interesting to see if Igor's got it in his legs to kind of pull that back. Now they're into this kind of second pitch. Quite a tough little section. The first part of this second pitch, it's all kind of 7-8%, 9 places. You don't get a lot of respite. But then you've got that nice green section to look forward to and kind of spin your legs out once this bit's over. Okay, just going under the halfway. The time slot 1 replay earlier. Not sure if Jonathan's there yet or he has gone under. Where are we? Let's see. Okay. Not Rowbottom there on the replay. We've got Jan Vanna just losing contact with that group now. And that is interesting. So Christoph will have them whittled down to 2 by the looks of things. Bo Duke and Tristan Dimmock on the time slot 1. Yeah, they are into that second third of climbing themselves. Jan Vanna, we talked about earlier. 5th place on the live. Give us a wave if you can, Jan. Okay, let's have a look at Cadell Sharks. Team GC leaders. Ben Kirk, Bo Duke, doing well on GC, Chris Morgan, Luke Webster, Noel Holder, and Tristan Dimmock. Well done, guys. Good day. Keep going. You're doing great, leading the way on the Team GC. I said 2 minutes 43 up on Team 3R. Very, very interesting to see how that shakes out now that Team 3R got so many guys up front and live. Of course, it all depends on how many of the Aussies had up front on the time slot 1 earlier. Here we go. Lee Taylor coming up to the halfway point, 8.3%. Pacing it nicely in the yellows and the greens. Now Simmons, Noel making a bit of a break for it. Obviously, feeling that he's got good legs. He's calmed it down a little bit now that he's got a small gap. Yeah, there's not a lot of drafting there. I'm not quite sure why he's left him to get in a gap there. No one could draft him. There we go. Okay, so Christoph now with just the 2 3R riders. That's going to be a really, really interesting little group as we go up. Looks like Jonathan's way off the front, so it could be that these guys are fighting a bit of a rearguard action. They're maybe just keeping an eye on Christoph, making sure he doesn't leap or try to leap across to John. I'm not quite sure how close he would get, so maybe it's just they've got the legs that they've got, and they're just going to be battling it out with Christoph up this. We will see. It's going to be very interesting. West London VR joint team with the Pedalers. Dave Morrison, another top race organiser. Dave does loads for the platform. Thanks for all the work that you do, Dave. I think everybody appreciates that West London VR race you do. It's brilliant. Draws massive crowds every week. Christoph, hello again, Christoph. Tobias Bjork, Felix Castro, Michael Sergey, and Jürgen Janssens. Okay, Bouverie looks like just moving ahead of his teammate there. Just going under halfway, we've got Francois Icar, Daniel Such, Neil Holt, is that? Bouverie just coming up to the halfway point. He's pacing his efforts very well. Interesting to see the relative positions of the lead riders on both of these replays. Time slot 1 replay, you can see the lead guy is just a little bit off the front, whereas on the live, Jonathan Orr is a country mile up the road from everybody else. He must be really gunning to try and keep his position ahead of Casper GC. So interesting to see how this is going to pan out when the lead guys are on basically different races from each other. You know, if they were head to head, if they were together, they could see what each other would do. You know, look for their attack places, try and gauge how the other guy's feeling. But effectively, you know, riding like this, they're both just doing, you know, individual time trials all the way up for like an hour and 5 minutes. Yeah, mind-boggling. Some big watts there from Jonathan, approaching 400 watts. Wow. And his heart rate up at the 180s. Yeah, well, you'd expect it, pushing that kind of power. And likewise Casper, you know, he's approaching the 160s. Heart rate's quite a personal thing. You can't just look at look at Jonathan's at 182 and think he's doing more work than Casper necessarily. He might just have one of those hummingbird heart rates where he just beats that a little bit faster than everybody else. I know for me, you know, I tend to pump around 155 when I'm doing these kind of efforts. Obviously drops off a little bit with age as well. I'm quite sure the relative ages of these two guys could be Jonathan's a bit younger than Casper as well. Okay, Coppo just going under the halfway. 27th to 28th place. Yeah, doing really well, guys. Keep it up. So Sergey from the US, and then Glory from Australia. Doing really well, guys. Under that halfway banner. Okay, looks like Orr is just a little bit ahead of Casper at this point in proceedings. Yeah, he needs to keep that up as well, because 53 seconds on a climb this size, yeah, it's not a lot. It's not a lot. And we said that, it looks like they are, I would say, just about halfway up. And that's just visually, I can't see it in terms of meters. Around about halfway, I'd say. Let's have a look now. So Jonathan Orr, yeah, 9:55. No, he's only got 600 meters of ascent to go. Okay, so bearing that in mind, Casper has got that much climb himself to try and put a dent into that 53-second lead that he's got. And here it is the climb side by side with Jonathan's effort. As you can see, it just goes on and on and on. It is such a beast, all the way up and then snaking backwards and forwards as you approach the meteo station at the end. There we go. So a little bit more on the climb itself. Tour de France has been up this 18 times altogether since 1951. Most recent time was I think 2016, where Thomas de Gent rode to victory. A lot of you might also remember Froome smashing into the back of a camera bike, busting his bike, and then having to run in his cleats up the road while he was waiting for another bike to arrive. One of the most bizarre things I think I've ever seen on the Tour de France, which is saying something, because there's been some bizarre things on that race, like archways deflating and collapsing on riders and stuff. But yeah, Froome doing that was just one of the funniest and most bizarre things. Hey guys, hey Gordon, Scott, keep it up. Yeah, it looks like you're both pacing this really, really nicely. That's it. Yes, keep those efforts in the green, Gordon. Don't push it too hard. Still a long way to go, man. But you know that. You've done this climb enough times. I know you have. Yeah, you look like you're enjoying yourself as well, Scott, from earlier on today. That's it, mate. Tap it, tap it, tap it. Coming up to halfway. Henderson, why not? I think at this point, yeah, there we are. Me and Tony just off the back of them, sticking to our game plan, riding side by side on the steep bits, and then every time it flattened out, Tony was lending me his wheel and pulling me slowly and slowly across to those guys. Over halfway. That's it, Gordon. Just going up to the halfway now. Casper Pedersen there. Nigel Smith from SDW. Nice to see some SDW riders. It's a shame they couldn't bring a team. They always support all the big races during the proper cold winter and autumn seasons on RGT. So we've got here Suckman in 12th position. Going really well, mate. And this is your team. It is indeed. It is Jan Hansen, ECKD Team 2. Brian Christensen. Hi Brian, seeing you out on the road. Jürgen Kolvik. Harold Hoff. Renee Setman and Henrik Larsen. Very smugly there, Henrik. And here we are, ECKD Team 1. Ricky Hugard. Kurt Pedersen. Kurt. Rasmus Felderbaud. And there's Casper. Must be somewhat cold because he got a beanie in his head underneath that helmet. Delondi is there. Keep on going. Here's my teammate, Adrian Bennett, coming up to the halfway. Keep it going, Adrian. It's such a shame you had those technicals earlier on, mate. We'll see you on the team time trial later next week now. Where are we? Yes, Saturday, Sunday, last day tomorrow of the current week. A couple of Australian riders looking after each other by lots of things, pacing each other up this climb. Here we go, so look at these guys. Stewie's Magpies. So we have Barry Lowe, Jeff Tippett, Peter McNulty, another Peter Ridley, Phil Tolhurst, and Rob Drady. Good day, guys. Hope you're enjoying the tour. You must be, right? You're coming back every single day for more and more of the awesome but very painful Chase the Yellow. I've got to say, me and the guys at OTR are having such fun. There's a right banter going within the team and with other teams as well. You know, we're trying our hardest to catch the teams in front, give them a little bit of banter when we can out on the road, and trying to close those gaps, giving it our all every day. And here's a quick recap of what we've done so far. Stage 1, Stage 2, Stage 3, lovely Alpe d'Huez, Sustons, which was just as hard, although it was flat, it was just so long. Albertville, Charlie, and today's monster, 112, the Queen stage. Salons next Tuesday. Then Montvernier, we're nearly there. Penultimate stage. And there we go. The last stage, day 9, Versailles into Paris. Can't wait to get there. It'll be bittersweet. Can't wait, but also it's going to be a bit sad that we won't have any more of this time this summer. We'll have to look for a replacement. Maybe we'll see some of these teams come and join us on Love TT. That'd be nice. You're always welcome, guys. It's great to have the 14 teams we've got every week coming back. Even better to have 14 more. Bring a friend. In fact, bring 6. We'll have some fun. Okay, what are we doing? Jonathan Orr still pushing hard. Watts has just dropped off a little bit. Oh, look, Christoph, well done, mate. He's got a gap on the other 3R riders now. So he is doing really well. Yep, brilliant. Great work. Somebody on the chat there, Wayne. Hi, Wayne. From Kings and Queens. Nice to see you, mate. Good to see you watching. Hope you're enjoying the show. Hope my voice isn't going too croaky for you. I'll get a little bit of water and see if I can sort that out. And then we're working our way back down the pack a little bit. MH. Evan. Hello, Evan. Good to see you, mate. M. Marchie from England. Steve W. from the UK. Jongi. I think that's Belgium. Yeah, from Belgium. Keep it up, mate. Doing very, very well. Nearly onto this second section of climb. A steep climb. It's all a climb. Second section of steep climb. Southberg. Clive, keep it up, mate. Yeah, that's right. Pain's only temporary. And shut up, legs. Hello, Hull. Well done, mate. Larson, keep it up. Tapping in that power out. There's the pacer bot. Nobody's using it. They're all pushing ahead. And Harper, maybe you can catch up to that pacer. Look at the see through. Come on, Linda. Catch up to that pacer. You can do it. Keep tapping that out. A very dapperly dressed pacer back there, an OTR kit. A East. Well done, mate. Keep on tapping out that power. Well worth the climb when you see that Meteo station at the top. Okay, we get some lovely scenic shots here on the helicopter cam. Some great camera work as always from Damon. And look how lovely the mountains looking. These guys are neck and neck still. Amazing job. And a great battle to see. Wow, that's snaking round. I've done such a great job on this road. Probably the reason I keep coming back again and again to train on it. Either that or I'm slightly unhinged. I'm not quite sure which it is. But no, seriously, it's perfect for a long ride, hour and a half, 2 hours, depending on how you want to pace it. I would recommend it. Just put your trainer feedback on a low setting so it doesn't destroy your legs too much, and it's great for improving your aerobic fitness. Christoph is obviously on a mission today, putting everything into this climb. I'm trying to keep that gap over Snova, but he's pushing hard himself. Look into the oranges, into the reds. He's probably standing up, giving it a bit of a push. Okay, there's Casper under that banner. Do we know where John is in comparison? John is... It's a little bit hard to tell from that graphic. I think he might have gone under the banner already. I'm going to say they're pretty much neck and neck, you know. Casper maybe a little bit behind. Okay, Keradine has got a big gap now over Igo. He's pushed out to 150 metres. And realistically, you know, when it gets that far out, that's the sort of time where you're thinking, if you're following that, can I bridge that? You know, is he looking at weakening? I'm not sure he is. You know, that's pushing out to 160, I think. Yeah, I think Keradine might have seen Igor off on this climb, and they've still got quite a way to go as well. There's another final third section. It does ease off a little bit, but you know that's when your efforts start to bite. The lactic acid starts to build up if you've been pushing too hard. if you went too hard at the very start, it's going to start kicking back at you now. Your legs will start screaming. You won't be able to put out the power that you were earlier on. And the harder you try and push, the worse it gets. So it'll be very, very interesting to see how this works. Cooper and Melville working together from the Glasgow team. Perfect tactics, guys. Glasgow United CC team. There they are, James and Alistair. Or was that Steve? Steve, sorry. James and Steve pacing each other up. Yeah, exactly what Tony and I did earlier, guys. And I think if you keep that up, you're going to catch that guy in front. Because he's in the red trying to stay ahead of you. And you guys are sharing the load. I would expect we're going to go around this corner in a minute. And the guys will take up the front, push in the extra watts. They'll then swing out, let the other guy come through, rest on the back. And all the time they're doing that, Bouverie is having to work all by himself to try and keep the gap over them. So yeah, perfect team tactics. Stevie Cooper, there we go, there he goes. He's going to push that red. John's going to jump on his wheel. Sorry, James is going to jump on his wheel. And they'll be eating into that lead of Bouverie just ahead of them. Yeah, now just after this flat section, we go into the final third. And that starts off with quite a brutal ramp. If memory serves correct, it's kind of 9-10% for a couple of 100 metres. And eases off a little bit. But people need to be aware of that as they're approaching it. Jonathan Orr then getting up towards the top of this climb now. Not much more to go. He's got 250 metres of vertical ascent to go and 3 kilometres. So the average is in about 8%. From here, it's not as punishing as earlier in the climb. He's doing great as well. He's going to get an awesome time. Definitely going to be around 1 hour 2 or 3, I'm going to say. Let's see how it pans out. Not far now until he'll be able to see the Meteo station. That's always a sight for sore eyes. You know that you've not much longer to go when you see that. You can just see it in the helicopter shot. Casper won't be able to see that on the road. You can just see it around the cusp of the mountain there. There we go. Look how close are these guys. Not much in it at all, really. Not much at all. So it won't be long until they're going to swing around a couple of more bends. And then the trees will disappear and then they'll see that moonscape ahead of them and the Meteo station in its full glory just up ahead. Carradine's not giving up though, he's trying to chase back on. And Christophe, Christophe's not going to make up 2.5k now, is he? Not with 2.5k to go, but he's doing great in second place. Chapeau, Christophe. Keep it up, mate. Carradine, he's got much more of a chance of maybe getting across. And Igor, 200 metres now. It's going back, isn't it? And Bo bearing down on Igor. Has he got the legs to keep ahead? It's only 35 metres. And looking at those comparative power bars, Igor's taking it a bit easier than Bo. So Bo's obviously feeling like he's got the legs going into these last few kilometres. Okay, John now. Not far to go. 2.32. 180 metres of ascent to go. Still pushing 20 kph. Heart rate racing. Power up in those top 300 like it has been this whole way. He's a strong lad. Hey, come on JPM, yeah. Keep it up. Thanks Anders for tuning in, supporting the stream. Hope you're all having a good time. It's nice to see people sending in messages. Hi, Evan. Yep, go Cheapy, go Jep. Up, up, up. Not far to go. Okay, Jonathan. Still pushing. Grinding those pedals. Low cadence, 60. That's going to hurt those knees. Think about your older years, Jonathan. Spin those pedals. Okay, here we go. Can we see? Look, they're so close still. Okay, Jonathan's just going around that corner now. How far away is Casper? It's a proper head-to-head this. No teammates to help all the way for either of these guys. Looks like Jonathan might just have this in the bag. Casper still hasn't turned that corner. Still hasn't gone round. I think it's about, what, 500 metres maybe? 500 metres at these gradients, the speed these guys are going, maybe a minute 20 ahead, I'm going to say, for Jonathan. Okay, I think two more hairpins, two more bends, and Jonathan is going to be seeing the moonscape in front of him. The trees will be gone, and it'll just be him seeing that Meteo station up ahead. You'll see the little round ball part of the Meteo on his right hand side, and then the main tower further up the road there. Look at that, what a view. There you go, the trees are gone, and it's just him smashing his way up the last 1.4 kilometres of his climb now. You know, I think he might sneak under the hour, and that would be an amazing effort. Okay, Casper's on the same stretch, can see him just up ahead. Yeah, it's about 300 metres, I think, isn't it? Still great effort though, Casper. I mean, you know, you were giving it your all the way up this. And Jonathan now pushing just above the 400. Casper, although he's pushing far fewer watts, you'll see that the watts per kilo is very, very similar. And the reason for that is, of course, he's a lighter rider, right? But these climbs, they're all about watts per kilo. If you're light and someone's pushing out much, much higher watts with you, then you won't be able to keep up if you've got a better watts per kilo. That's what these climbs are all about. But I did wonder about those team taxis, you know, whether we would see some of the 3R guys maybe trying to lead Jonathan out. But as it turned out, he didn't need it, did he? There we go, he's rounding that final bend, Meteo station, and it's full glory up ahead of him. Oh, it's a cloudy day up on the summit there, isn't it? Maybe in the virtual cycling land, that's good though. You don't want that sun burning down at you on nearly 2,000 metres ascent. He's under the Flamme Rouge, there he goes. Not quite matching up with the remaining metres. There's a slight glitch in the RGT software there. 700 metres to go. It eases off a little bit for a few hundred, and then there's another kick up as we approach these last couple of corners. Go on, John, take it home. He's easing off a bit now. I think he knows he's got this job done. Yeah. JP, come on, Jonathan. A couple more corners to go, mate, and you're there. There's a Race 3R team. He didn't need any of them in the final analysis. He did it all by himself, all the way up this climb. 400 metres to go. Casper is 600 behind. So the clock is going to be ticking when Jonathan crosses that line. How far out is that 53-second lead going to go? See, it's just easing off a little bit. There's a little bit of false flat. And then a final slap in the face from Mont Ventoux as we go up to the finish line. There we go, goes green. He's round the corner, coming into the flags and the barriers section now. 6, 7, 8. The percent ramps up. And he's nearly there. Come on, Jonathan. One final push. There we go. 500 watts. Little sprint into the final barrier section. The crowd go wild. I'm sure the 3R team go wild as well. And that is job done for Jonathan Hall. Great work, Jonathan. Well done. And the clock is now ticking on Casper. 7, 5, 6. I'll try and keep this in my head. Come on, Casper. Push, 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 push. Nearly there. I think that's nearly 30 seconds now. He's not giving up though, pushing those big watts. 566. Just to get up that last little punch before it flattens out. Come on, Casper. It ain't over till it's over there. More stages left yet. You might get another chance to make up this time. Carradine. Just with all that final bend, not far behind Casper. And Beauduc, not too far behind him too. So this is going to do Carradine and Beauduc absolutely no disfavours on their battle with Igor on GC. Ooh. And here we go, Casper. Nearly there. Push, 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 push up into this barriered section now. Around that final corner. I think you might just go under the hour as well. Will you? Come on, get under that hour, you can do it. That'll be also a Herculean effort. Oh, just by a second or two, unlucky. But still, 1 hour. Ventoux. That's something to tell your grandkids about, isn't it? Wow, well done, mate. Fantastic effort. So I think that was about, about a minute or so back. So I don't know, maybe that's about 2 minutes on GC now. You've got to say, with 3 stages to go, that's Jonathan's to lose, isn't it? Especially with the strong team he's got on the flats. Come on, Christophe. Carradine from earlier on. Sard Carradine. Nearly there, sir. Come on, keep pushing it. That heart rate's starting to max out. Pushed so hard for so long on this climb. The last final painful hundreds of metres to go. Trying to maximise that time over Igor and Beau. He's only about 45 seconds behind Beau, I think. Really pleased with his effort here. He may well leapfrog Beau in third. And that would put him, depending on where Igor is, that would probably put him in fourth, I think. So, well, it's got to be well worth that push. Go on. Come on, Carradine. Push, push, push. Could be just off the podium after tonight. Well done, sir. Hey, Beau. What have you got in your legs? Seeing those yellows from Beau. Can he push it? Has he got it left? Yeah, he's going red now. Reds and oranges. He's got to push it. He doesn't want to lose any more time on GC. These guys are so close on this climb. But the timings, especially in kind of third, fourth, fifth, those guys are only split by about 45 seconds. Here's Igor, possibly the big loser on today's stage. might possibly lose his third spot on GC today, but he'll be within striking distance. There's a lot of road left, and as we know, Igor is very, very comfortable on rolling and flat terrain. Well done, Igor. I don't think I said that to you when you crossed the line, mate. Well done. And Mr. Dimmick, 5th on GC before this. I think he may possibly lose a place, but he will still be in the top 6, definitely in the top 10 GC. A great ride there from McAlpine, coming in just behind, finishing strong. Right, Rowbottom now, nearly done. A couple more bends and you are home. Take a little bit of momentum, a little bit of power into this little bit of fat section. Okay, here we go, Christophe. Great effort for 2nd place on your slot. That's going to do your team no disfavours at all on the GC. Chasing Mark Rowbottom all the way, although of course in a different time slot. Well, Mark, shout out to Razio, representing. Great work. Well done, sir. Okay. Christophe's under the Flamme Rouge. You can see that finishing line almost in sight now, Christophe. Keep it up, mate. Done a great effort on this climb. Keeping that cadence high, heart rate's high at 165, power is also high, pushing 300. Ah, that's got to hurt. Just around the next corner. Here we got Morgan just coming up into the flagged area around the Meteo station at the finishing line. That's lovely, let's see you across. Chapeau, great effort, 8th place, excellent. Enjo coming up on 9th, taking some good speed into the finishing line. For those of you that haven't done this climb before, it doesn't actually finish here. What it does, it goes over the top and then starts to descend down the other side. And just down there, you've got the Tom Simpson Memorial, just by the side of the road there. You can't stop and lay flowers, unfortunately, in the virtual world, but yeah, it goes, takes you past down there, turns you around, and then if you want, you can work the whole thing in reverse, all the way back down into Malocien. B. Kirk coming up now, 11th place on the replay slot from this morning. Doing a great job. Well done, sir. And here comes Christophe, the comparison. So that was 11th place earlier on. Christophe is 2nd on the late slot. So we'll come in kind of 12th place overall if we combine these two. I'm sure he might have done even better if he'd had a target to chase. Well done, Christophe. Chapeau. Sneva is going to take, it looks, yeah, he's going to take 3rd place easily. James Melville's another 900 metres back, so he's not going to close that down. Time slot 1, replay, we've got Simmons, I think that is. Yeah, just ahead on the road. Yeah, it's got to run down the Moonriders. Lorenzo Simmons, Daniel Such. Hi Daniel, a lot of races we're here, and with Francois Eicher there, and Mike. Lots of Adams might wear them. Welter's normally sprinting way up the road for me to have any sorts of battles with him, but hi Walter, good to see you, mate. And Joe Rowe, not familiar with Joe, but hello to you as well. Shout out. Here comes James. As I say, previous winner of the Tour de Monde. I think edition 1 all those years ago, 4 years ago. James and Glasgow United dominated that one, winning the GC teams and with James for the individuals as well. Under the Flamme Rouge he goes. Going great guns still. And not giving up, trying to limit his losses on the GC, no doubt. Pushing big watts still. Grinding those gears at 70. And the comparison that you've got nice high cadence up in the 80s there. That's kind of where I favour things myself. Don't like to grind. Always punishes me in the knees the next day when I do. If I have to take a rest out of the saddle to ease things a little bit, I always stand up and try to go around about 70. Tends to suit. Rabarbe from France, 14th place from the all place for earlier today. Very well done. Okay, let's follow James up. So keep pushing up. A couple of little corners to go, James, and you're home. There's the station. Oh, what a view. What great camera work. Great job, David. Look at that, side by side, these guys are so close together. Enhill Nick, that is. Almost neck and neck with James there in this final approach to the summit. Oh man, I still have about 15 minutes of climbing to go at this point. Still feeling. That's the last push from these guys. James in the red now, pushing those big watts, maxing out that heart rate into the finishing straight, and over he goes. Great job. 4th place on the slot, James. Ably assisted by your teammate earlier on. Mr. Hall from the replay slot, about 10 seconds behind. Awesome job of 50. Steve Cooper, to say, helped James no end earlier on. Paying for it a bit now, just seeing this stage out. Obviously did a grand stint domestique for James today. And rolls over in 5th. Good job. Glacier of France. Vinny Chapeau. Go on, Kev. Representing the OTR Massive into the barriered section, and no doubt sealing your well-deserved place in the top 10 on GC. Great job, 1 hour 11. Bouvray, who we saw earlier from R3R in that team, in that little group with Christoph before he went away. We'll do the Team GC chances. No end of good with this performance. Can they make up that 2 minutes 43 on the Sharks? Have to see on the how things shake down once the GC results come in, once we have enough. Come on, Samut, take it into the finish. That's a great effort for a veteran rider. Great job. That's where Iker, chased by Daniel Scotch, into the finish. Well done, Francois. Well done, Daniel. I think Moon Riders are our next rivals on the road in the Team GC, but they're quite a way ahead. And yeah, with a performance like that from Daniel, you can see why. Mr. Isithor had a battle with him the other day in our group. Much better climber than me. I managed to pip him on the flat in the street in the sprint. Feldabal, nearly there. Hear that crowd going nuts as he comes around that final little bend and across the line. Stephen S. right on his tail. Great work. This is Steve Knight. Burying himself now into the final bit. As he sees that finishing barrier. Sees that gantry. Beautiful chase the yellow gantry there. It's another great thing with RGT, you know, for our race organisers. You can get your own logos all over the place. You can see on these crash barriers at the side. You know, when we get our sponsors in, we can put their name placements all over the road and the barriers and the gantries. It's an awesome thing for an organiser to do. And then with broadcasts, you know, of the professional quality the ZMS put out, going out on Facebook, you know, on YouTube, on eSports TV, I think it is. Yeah, ESTV. You know, get your company name out there, guys. Sponsor us. You get a good return on your investment. Doesn't cost you an arm and a leg. Well worth doing for your business. Okay, Mr. Newton is approaching the finish now himself. Great to see him pushing out those big watts as well. Saved a little bit, obviously, for the finish. Jay Jensen's just ahead of him, I think. Yeah, just rounding that corner, about 100 metres ahead. That's it, keep it up, sir. Nearly there. That's it. Final effort, up to the finish line. Okay, I think we are now coming to the end of our time, guys, so I'm going to start wrapping things up. I'm going to say thank you from myself. It's been great to have a little go behind the mic. Hope you found it entertaining. No, I have. It's been real great fun to be with you and to watch these guys and myself a little bit coming back up this mountain. Such a great race, such great action over that hour and 15 that we've seen from all the riders. You know, massive shout out to Damon for organising this and putting on such great shows for us all to watch. Big shout out to all the riders that are engaging with this. You know, and as I say, in the summertime you wouldn't expect hundreds of riders to be taking to their turbo trainers in their heat, in their conservatories, in their sheds, and doing battle like this. It's great to see. Okay, so here we go. Let's have a look at how GC looks after this. Yep, and as I thought, there we go. A bit more of a distance there for Jonathan after that effort on Casper. The gap is now 250 up from 253. So yeah, about a minute and a bit that he's managed to put into him. Igor just hanging on to his third place. Duke breathing down his neck at, what's that, 22 seconds, I think. Stade Carradine looks like the big winner today, coming within 11 seconds now of blowing fourth. Tristan Dimmock, he's another kind of 40 odd seconds behind. And then we've got the time gap's getting bigger and bigger from there. Mark Rowbottom in 7th, Lorenzo Simons in 8th, Alistair McAlpine 10th, Ben Kirk just nicking Kevin Barclay's top 10 place. Kevin now in 11th. James Melville closing in on him in 12th. That massive effort by Christopher seen into 13th place now. Nobody in 14th, rounding out the top 15, Stevie Cooper. Awesome effort from everybody there. Okay, so what difference has that made to the Team GC? It has made a big difference, with Race 3R taking over from Cadell Sharks now by 47 seconds. So they have overturned a 2-minute 43 advantage that they had over Race 3R earlier on today. That's nothing short of stunning, guys. Well done. Yeah, just shows the type of time gaps, the type of trouble riders can have on a climb like that. Okay, Razio in 3rd spot, quite a way back, but also looking pretty safe for that bronze medal position in the Team GC. Glasgow United next, followed by Moon Riders, followed by ECKD1, and then the Pedalers just behind them. 30 minutes behind them, just behind the Pedalers. My team, the Punchers, we will try and close that 1.5 minute gap if we possibly can, get up to 7th place. Skippy Anderson next back. We're going to have to watch out for those guys because they're not far behind. The Bike Place just back from them, bit of a bigger gap back to those guys. And then Stewie's Magpies, ECKD Team 2. Rocket Robbie, OTR Spartans, second OTR team. Again, too far behind Rocket Robbie to cap maybe, but to be ahead of Spectre Koalas. And 15th, and Robbie Stars topping things out in 16th place. Okay, let's see what we've got in store next. For Tuesday, Stallions, 38 kilometres of lovely flat following that riverbed riding. People are going to have to keep the wheel and make sure they don't get dropped on this one, because it's going to be a drag race, I would think, from start to finish. It'll be super interesting to see if the Australians take the same approach they did last time and just team trial that start to finish. I reckon. Myself, I'll just be trying to hold the wheel of the strongest guys I can find. Okay, so that's all from me and from Damon. Hope you've enjoyed the coverage. That's been great to get behind the mic and keep you all company. Look out for more stuff from ZMS Esports Studios and OTR virtual events in the future. See you at an event.